Welcome back to the Undo Summer School. So today we're going to wrap up the us phase, and that's the part of the series where we've explored how we lead, relate and work with others by tackling something that touches nearly all of us, especially those of us who have been underestimated, undervalued, or simply told to be nice. This episode is called You Don't Need to Be Liked. Okay, so listen, it's not a call to be rude or difficult or emotionally distant. We're not glorifying resting bitch face, although I have one, so there's nothing wrong with it. And we're not glorifying the whole I'm not here to make friends mentality. That's not the energy. This is about the pressure to be liked, where it comes from, who it weighs on the most, and how we can start loosening its grip without losing our humanity in the process. Because being liked is lovely, but being respected, being clear, kind, and true to yourself, that's leadership. Let's get into it. Okay, so our heart lesson today is about the likability trap. Let's start with being honest with each other. We all want to be liked. It's natural. It's a human thing. And in many ways, it's helpful, right? People are more open to ideas, feedback, and collaboration when they like you. That is social capital. But where it gets tricky is when likability becomes a requirement. When it's a box that you think you've got to tick in order to be safe, successful, or even just tolerated. When it stops becoming relational and starts becoming that thing that I hate so much, performative. For so many of us, especially women, people of colour, introverts, people who didn't grow up with power, it's not a preference. Likability is a survival strategy. I felt it in my own career, right? Across the years, I've played all the roles. I have been too nice, saying yes when I meant no, and padding my emails with pleasantries and smiling through discomfort. And I've gone the other way. I've been too cold. I've pulled away. I've withheld connection. I've chosen control over vulnerability, and neither extreme felt quite right. Eventually, with lots of lessons learned, I found my way to the middle ground, my Goldilocks moment, my just right. And that place was kindness. Kindness allows me to be honest without being harsh. It allows me to hold boundaries without building walls. It allows me to lead with fairness, empathy, integrity, even when the decisions are hard. Kindness lets me stay human. Because look, being liked is not always in your control, but being kind, that is always a choice that you can make. Okay, so our head lesson is about likability versus respect and the double standards that sit beneath it. So let's unpack this one a bit more. Likability and respect are not the same thing. We often confuse them, especially early in our careers. But here's a distinction, at least in my opinion. Likability is about comfort. Do they enjoy me? Whereas respect is more about credibility. Do they trust me? And the expectations around both are wildly inconsistent. So let's talk about the double standards I hinted at earlier. What gets labelled as confident in a male leader might get labelled as difficult in his female peer. What gets seen as assertive in one person could be labelled as aggressive in another, often depending on things like race, gender, or even accent. Confidence is not distributed equally. Neither is permission to be unlikable. And that's where the pressure kicks in, because for some of us, being liked isn't optional. It feels essential. It's a shield that we need to soften our edges so that we're not punished for simply taking up space. Then we have this thing about nice versus kind. Again, this is how I see it. You know, you may not agree, but this is my view. Nice is performative. It's avoidant. It avoids conflict. It looks for approval. It likes to just keep things pleasant even when that comes at a cost. But kind is principled. It says the hard thing, but it says it with compassion. And it will choose honesty over ease. So being kind might mean disappointing someone. It might mean holding them accountable, but it never, ever means dehumanizing them. So then you've got the career curve. When you're starting out, likability, it is important, right? We can't get around it. It can open doors. It helps you build your networks, find mentors, and navigate cultures that you didn't create. But as you progress, respect becomes more important. You're not just delivering work, you're making decisions, you're setting direction, you're influencing others. At that point, your ability to communicate clearly, to act with integrity, and to fairly lead outweighs how charming or easygoing you are. And don't get me wrong, being liked and respected can coexist. The ideal world is that they do, but if you have to choose respect. Every time, choose respect. Okay, so time for our hands lesson for today. How to let go of likability without becoming a jerk. So how do we stop performing for approval without swinging too far into isolation or indifference? I'm going to give you 5 ways to start. The first is to check your motive before you say yes. So ask yourself, am I doing this to help? Am I doing this to be liked? Am I agreeing because I want to? Or because I'm afraid of how it will look if I don't? Just taking that beat to check in on your intentions is really important and has the potential to be really powerful. So number 2 is, surprise, surprise, choose kind over nice. Don't sugarcoat hard feedback. Deliver it with empathy. If you need more help, go back to the feedback episode. Don't overextend yourself to avoid disappointing others. Communicate your boundaries with care. Okay? Remember this, kindness is doing the right thing. Niceness is doing the easy thing. Number 3, name your likability boundary. So give yourself permission to be disliked by some people some of the time. It's okay. That doesn't make you difficult. It means that you have discernment. If that feels a bit like, oh, I don't know, Dulcie, I don't know if I can do that, just try this mantra. They don't have to like me, but I won't let them misunderstand me. Okay? They don't have to like me, but I won't let them misunderstand me. Okay, 4, lead with clarity and consistency. The more people know what to expect from you, the less they need to like you to trust you. Be predictable in your values. Be reliable in your delivery. Be clear in your communication. All right? And then finally, don't abandon warmth. I really need this one to land, right? Because, you know, in saying all this stuff about respect over likability, I'm not telling you to become a bitch. There's nothing wrong with being warm, funny, relatable, friendly. I treasure all of those things. It's really important to me as a leader to be all of those things. But just don't use it as armor. Don't weaponize it against yourself. And don't feel ashamed if someone misreads your softness as weakness. That's their lens. That's not your truth, okay? You can still be warm without bending over backwards to make everybody else comfortable. Okay, so likability is lovely, but it's not the goal. Your job isn't to be everybody's favorite. Your job is to lead with clarity, kindness, and conviction, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it costs you popularity points. So if this episode hit a nerve, remember you're not alone. We will keep talking about these sorts of tensions through the rest of the summer school series. And if you lead a team or aspire to, this is one of the foundational mind shifts that you need to embrace. You don't need to be liked. You need to be kind. You need to be clear. You need to be yourself. And I promise you, that is enough. Okay, see you next week.